record on the computer, and I'll make sure to send this over to you too.
Okay, perfect.
All right, Ashley Bowers, thank you for coming on, and thank you for carving out some time in your busy day. I know you're, we just spoke, but you're accomplishing a lot of great things with the people that you're helping. The reason why I wanted to bring you on, Ashley, is it's such a wonderful thing to know you are helping people bridge the gap between this position of maybe feeling emotional eating is just something that's always going to be a part of them, and that understanding how to feel empowered so that it puts them in the control of their nutrition, and bridging that gap between effective exercise and making sure that they have professional guidance in getting to the place that they want to be with their health and wellness. So thank you, Ashley, for coming on and sharing some of that today.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about your background? Who is Ashley Bowers?
Yes. So professionally, my background is I went to UNC Chapel Hill, went there for exercise and sports science, and graduated from there. I am a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, yoga teacher, mobility instructor, CrossFit coach, like lots of professional certifications in there, and working on a couple other ones. But I think in this field, especially, a lot of times people don't really care about those. Some people do, so that's why I say them. But kind of personally, my story is I always was someone who struggled with my weight, like always felt like I needed to be doing some sort of diet or doing just like super hard workouts. Like I would force myself to run and things like that. And like I hate running, and just always felt like I wasn't doing enough, like wondered why I could never see results when I would do these diets, why I always felt like I wasn't in control of the foods I was eating. It felt like they controlled me. And so now my mission in life is to help other women who have felt like how I have felt in the past, and just help them realize that that's actually not like how you have to live your life. Like there is a better life on the other side of that, and one where you don't have to think about food constantly or worry about your weight all the time or your worth because of your weight and things like that. And so that is what I do now, help women realize that you can actually enjoy your life. You can eat foods that you like, and you can still see progress towards your goals as well.
I love that. Can you explain to us, for those that are not familiar with having the struggle of emotional eating and how that affects a person's day? Like, can you kind of walk us through what that day would typically feel and look like?
Yeah, definitely. So starting in the morning, you wake up in the morning and it probably is just super overwhelming, even thinking about what you're going to wear, because you hate the way that all of the clothes in your closet look on you. And it's just a reminder that, oh, like these jeans still don't fit me, or these, like this shirt is too small now. And just even the thought of what am I going to wear today is just, it's not just a simple, like, oh, I'll just throw this on. It's a whole, like, you begin to put your worth into the reason why clothes don't fit and things like that. And it becomes about how you are terrible and how you suck because you can't ever lose the weight to fit into these clothes that you intentionally bought too small because you thought it would motivate you to fit into them. And so that's just like the first part of your morning. And then say you go to work, say that a coworker like brings in cookies that they made, and it's not just a simple like, oh yeah, like I'll have a cookie and like go back to your desk, keep working. It turns into maybe like a 1 to 2 to maybe 3 hour battle in your head of like, oh, I really want the cookie. No, I can't have the cookie. Like, oh, well, I'm just going to eat it. No, I'm not going to eat it. And either one of two things happen. Either you cave and you eat the cookie and then you beat yourself up because you ate the cookie and that's all you can think about the rest of the day. And you're like, all right, well, for dinner, I'm only going to eat salad because I had this cookie. Or you don't eat the cookie and then you constantly the rest of the day are thinking about how you wish you had the cookie, and eventually that will probably lead to eating a bunch of cookies later in the day because you just wanted that one cookie. So then fast forward, say it's like afternoon, you're going to go do your workout. if you ate the cookie, you probably are going to try to do a super intense workout or just like push yourself more than maybe you need to because you feel like you need to burn off the calories that you ate from the cookie. And if you didn't eat the cookie, you probably still feel the same way because you just hate yourself right now because you couldn't have the cookie. And so you think working out will make that better. And so say that you like your Apple Watch or your heart rate monitor says that you only burned like 250 calories in your workout. If you were hoping to burn like 500 or 600, you probably are super frustrated. And now you're upset because you feel like you didn't push yourself hard enough and you could have done better. And like, you don't understand why you can't burn enough calories to counteract the things that you want to eat. So then fast forward from that, you get home, maybe you make a salad because you are sad because you ate the cookie earlier, or maybe you just make a salad because that's what you think that you have to eat. There's like so many weird diets and things out there. And then probably after you eat your salad, you're still a little bit hungry. And then maybe you end up eating a whole container of ice cream because you're starving and like you haven't really eaten that much today. And then you feel terrible because you ate a whole container of ice cream. And then you end up going to bed and you just feel like you're constantly stuck in this rut of like, why can't I do this? Why will I never change? Why am I like this? And it turns into a lot of just focusing negativity on yourself. And then you go to bed, wake up the next morning, kind of start that cycle again.
That whole explanation is super exhausting just to even take in your description of what this person could be experiencing, not just in a single day, but for maybe Monday through Friday. Maybe it's week after week, month after month, or something that they've been suffering for years from. And to imagine how this is constantly depleting their sense of joy in life, their sense of accomplishment, feeling empowered, feeling like they're in control. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of that. So with your help and your guidance and the professional services that you're offering to your clients, what are the how do you help them? What does that process look like?
So I guess you can say that I take a little bit more of a holistic approach to people's health and nutrition. So a lot of times, or not a lot of times, all the time, I start with looking at people's mindset and seeing like, okay, what are the stories that you were telling yourself, and just try to see where people are starting from, because everyone comes to me all along different spaces on the spectrum. Some people are like, they've been having those negative days for so long that like their body is just like negatively drained and they're further towards like the, I guess if you wanted to call it like rock bottom area than others. And so I just kind of see where people are starting from. And sometimes there's times where I tell people like, I want to work with you, but you should speak with maybe like a therapist or a counselor first and work through these deeper rooted issues, because until those are addressed, like what I'm able to provide won't ever really like take root. And so sometimes it comes with referring out. Sometimes it's just focusing on that mindset and beginning to break down these lies and beliefs that we tell ourselves. And a lot of times people doubt themselves, like they're scared to fail again. They've tried so many diets and things in the past. They don't think that they are going to have the willpower to do what's required of them to see results. So it's a lot of just like self-doubt and just being afraid of not seeing change for the umpteenth time. So once we kind of focus on mindset, then it's a little bit more on actual like eating habits and things. So focusing on like, when are we physically hungry? Like when are we physically full? And just not just eating because society tells us that you need to eat breakfast at 8 a.m., but actually what does your body need? And so once we kind of address those physiological cues and they're learning how to eat mindfully and just what it feels like to actually enjoy your food, we cover all of that before moving into any sort of like, all right, like, do you want to track macros? Do you want to track calories? Do you want to do not a fitness, food journal? And then from there, it's kind of just me checking in with them, walking alongside them, making sure that they feel supported and helping
Mhm.
them stay accountable to whatever their goals are for the day, being able to answer questions for them. A lot of people are so used to just going to Google, and Google will give you like 12 different answers for things, and then you're just
Yeah.
overwhelmed because you don't know which one's right. And
Right.
so being able to just answer simple questions like how much protein is in this yogurt or whatever it may be,
Mhm.
that help people get an answer and get back right on their day. So yeah, so that's kind of what the process looks like. Obviously, it kind of changes a little bit person by person, but that's the typical kind of road map there.
Yeah, I love that. I love the compassion that you have in the beginning of recognizing maybe this individual needs some addition, they need professional help in a different area first before they consider working with you, because you ultimately want to make sure that their journey with you is as successful as possible. So I think that's very compassionate of you, and I love that approach. Can you share an experience, maybe with a client that you've had that has really turned their life around, with by means of working with you?
Yeah, definitely. So kind of like you said, my goal is not to get a client, keep them forever, like, oh, you can never do anything without me. Like the goal
Mm,
is to give you tools that you then can live your life, even if you're not working with me one on one. But it's not like you all of a sudden rebound back to your old ways as soon as you don't have me checking in with you every day.
mhm,
Um, and so a really cool story that I have. There was a girl that I started working with. We were friends. She used to live in my town and like ended up moving away. Kind of similar to the story of kind of how I shared that normal day. That was kind of her normal day to day. She
mm,
was forcing herself to run every day because she felt like that's what she needed to do. She was drinking shakes and things like that, not really
mm,
eating enough. From the outside, no one would have ever said like, "Oh, you don't look unhealthy." Like everyone was like, "Oh, you look fine." Like, but on the inside, she just didn't feel healthy. Felt very sluggish, no energy. So we started working together, worked on mindset, worked on physiological cues, and then worked on like tracking and maintaining foods that she needed to eat in order to hit her goals. Her goals were to lose fat, gain muscle, and just feel better and more confident in her body. And so we've been working together for about 4 months now, and it's been super cool just to see her physical changes. So
mhm,
even during quarantine, like she's lost like 15 pounds, like solely focusing on nutrition. Like she obviously doesn't have the gym. She wasn't feeling motivated to do like
mm,
strenuous home workouts. So she's
mhm,
actually been doing like bar classes online, and
mm,
she actually loves it. And she's like, it's great that I'm not tied to like, well, I didn't burn 500 calories this bar class, so it sucks. Like she's like, no,
mhm,
like I enjoy it, and like I'm watching my stamina grow and things like that. And even her just texting me and saying like, oh my gosh, like I went to Chick-fil-A today and I got this, and this, and I didn't feel guilty and I didn't overeat at dinner because I already like ruined the day and like things
mm,
like that. And so even her just finding freedom in being able to enjoy the fast foods that she enjoys and the treats that she enjoys and not have it consume her entire day and like
yeah,
throw off the rest of the day has been really huge.
mhm,
And then another thing that was cool too is so all of that kind of how we talked about how it's so exhausting for people,
yeah,
just focusing all of that energy on yourself of like you suck, like why
mhm,
can't you do this, like thinking about the cookie, whatever it may be. Her relationship with her husband has actually gotten so much better, and it's because she's now able to focus that energy on someone else versus herself. She's able to be a better wife, be a better friend, be a better dog mom, like be a better teacher. And she just overall, her life quality has improved so much,
wow,
literally just from focusing on nutrition, doing very specific like strength workouts, which like she loves those, but like obviously she hasn't been doing them for the last 2-3 months, however long we've been in quarantine. So like truly just focusing on nutrition. And one thing that was really cool was that her husband actually was like, he wants to run a race and like he hasn't been running at all. And he was like, I'm going to
mhm,
run like 6 miles every day and like just go for it. And she was like, oh, like you should try doing like what me and Ashley do. And like, we break everything down and like, we work on small goals at a time, and like, it makes it less overwhelming, and like, you won't
Mm-hmm.
feel bad if you fail. And so just seeing her be able to teach others the principles that I've taught her, like, I'm like, this
Mm-hmm.
is exactly why I do what I do. Like, so that you can teach others. Obviously, they say that if you can teach others, that means that you understand it. And so like, just seeing that she truly has grasped this concept, and like seeing the freedom in her life now compared to how enslaved she was to things
Mm.
before, it's just been incredible.
Wow, that's amazing. Like as you're telling that story, you can totally visualize how this life that she had lived previously to working with you was so sapped and drained of any kind of color in her life. And then as you're explaining it, and as you're detailing how she's experiencing all this positivity that comes with working with you, you see the color and vibrance kind of come back into her life. And I think that's so beautiful that you're equipping her with the tools, and all of your clients with the tools that's necessary so that they can regain control. They don't have to be a victim and feel like they're in the shackles of their emotional eating thought, and instead focus on the things that's going to make them feel good, whether that's doing a certain type of exercise training, or if it's just kind of getting in tune with listening to your body and seeing where you're at, and making sure that those improvements that you make with yourself are ultimately going out to the people that you love and that you care about and that you want to have a positive effect on. So thanks so much for sharing that experience. I think that's incredible what you're doing.
Thank
um,
you.
Ashley, if people want to work with you, if they want to reach out to you with any kind of questions when it comes to emotional eating, where can they find you?
The best place is probably my Instagram. So I'm sure that you'll probably have that somewhere whenever
Hmm.
you do something with this. But it's just at Ashley underscore Bowers underscore. Or you can find me through Daniel's page. But yeah, Instagram is the best way. Email gets tricky sometimes. So yeah, just shoot me a DM. I
Great.
check it every day, and that's the best way to, yeah, well, everything is personalized for everyone. So
Sure.
I kind of talk to you, hear what your goals are and kind of
Hmm.
what you're looking for, and then come up with a package for you that makes sense for your life. So,
Very cool. I love that tailored approach. I think that's where a lot of value lies, is making sure that it's not just a cookie cutter approach, but really understanding what the needs of the individual are first, and making sure that they're in a place to start receiving your support. Very cool. I'll make sure that the people have, or anyone listening to this or seeing this, has access to your Instagram account. Ashley, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this awesome service that you're providing for the community that we're all a part of. And thank you so much for sharing that kind of positivity with our space.
yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me.